What's up, Boot Hill Brian? We're doing a little jamming up here in the sleeper berth today. We'll let some music play for a few minutes while we're waiting on everybody to come in. Brandon, what's going on? Good morning to you too, sir. Is my audio okay? Can I get a thumbs up? Looks like you are in a good mood today. It requires effort sometimes, Brian, let me tell you, because I was not in a good mood yesterday. Well, not all of it anyway. But you know the saying, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. So let's focus on our reaction. All right, but I am coming to you from Macon, Georgia, which I rode through near the sort of the downtown part of Macon, Georgia, and it has an interesting look to it. I was wishing I had a drone and I could pull over and get some epic drone footage from Macon, Georgia, maybe sometime in the future. But I've kind of been droneless as far as working drones here lately. Let's see. I've got a whole list of non-copyrighted music, so let's play us a little bit. But like songs like this right here, right? This right here, I can't play much of it. Play, play. I'm through standing in lines, the clubs will never get in. It's like the bottom of the ninth, and I'm never gonna win. This life hasn't turned out quite the way I want it to be. Okay, we can't play any more of that, but we do have songs we can play, such as one called Miles, which I hope all you truck drivers get good miles today. Play. There we go. We'll let that play in the background while we chat a little bit. I was looking for my iPad, right, and it's right in front of me. We're going to pull the YouTube up, but if I do, it's going to kill my music. So maybe we won't do that. Because looky, Trucker Jim is live right now. Y'all like that thumbnail? But speaking of Trucker Jim, I made a video over the weekend, one I've been really thinking about for more than a week, but it's called The Legend of Uncle John. Yeah. I'm sure a lot of you have an Uncle John. I don't think there's a more common name in America than John. Like James, my real name may be number two, but I would say John is probably the most common name in America. You guys let me know what you think in the comments, but I'd say that's probably spot on. But my Uncle John, he was a hell of a John. But if you want to hear the story on that, there is a video. It's about 14 minutes long. He was in the Air Force, retired as a Chief Master Sergeant, had a top secret clearance. Uh, One of the things he did over the course of his military career was part of the development team of the stealth bomber. I don't know every detail of it. I can't ask him now, unfortunately. So the special people in your life, spend time with them while you got them. You truckers, you're on the road. I mean, we all got a headset, right? We can give them a call because the day will come where you won't be able to do that anymore. And that's kind of how it is with my Uncle John. But we did chat some since I've been a truck driver. He and he was familiar with my channel, and from what I think, he got some enjoyment out of watching those. So that was cool. But I put a little kind of a tribute video together. If you guys get a chance, check it out. It hadn't too, let's say it's 427 views at the time of this recording that video's had. But it was pretty cool. But anyway, moving right along, I was supposed to start a new account with GMP, NFI, whatever we're called now, with a new Lowe's, which is supposed to be a home daily type of deal. doing, one or two live unloads a day of refrigerators and stoves and appliances. It's all over South Carolina, parts of North Carolina, and the Knoxville side of Tennessee is the area that that distribution center is for. And well, they had an orientation of it today that was this. I don't know. It may be wrapping up now or maybe still going on, but I'm in Georgia. I'm not there. And I am the blame for it. I was pissed at the world when this happened, but we all create our own world for the most part, and I was definitely responsible for it. Y'all want to hear the story? Sounds like a whirlpool. Um, got a good 720 put down today. 720 miles? Woo! You must not be in a 65-mile-an-hour governed truck to pull off 720. I've seen 720. I think the highest I've ever seen is 723. That I was in the truck for. My partner Jason had actually. I always feel funny saying partner, because partner has a different definition today that than it once did, and he wasn't that kind of partner. He was my teammate, my co-driver, back in the U.S. Express days. I don't know, we were going all over the country back then. But we had a 70-mile-an-hour truck. I guess I can tell this story now, but I made a friend with one of the mechanics at an undisclosed terminal, and he hooked it up to the computer and bumped me up to 70 miles an hour. And I think I made it through about my second or third PM after that. And some rat bastard down in Laredo caught it and changed it, and then hence had a 65-mile-an-hour truck again. But that extra 5 miles an hour, man, it made a difference. It really did. You could pass people. That was cool. You could crack over 700 miles on a ship. But anyway, let's move on along. We're moving. Let's see, Trucker Jim. I draw a comic strip about truck driver and his dog. Not kidding. Well, that's cool, James Dean. I I tell you, I always have mad respect for people that create. And I hadn't been really. I mean, I guess I have been creating on a halfway consistent basis for about 5 years now, but not on the level that I want to, because well, all the other responsibilities as far as being behind the wheel and getting ample sleep and making sure I get some exercise each week kind of interferes with the time that I would like to spend creating. But I've got a plan I'm working on. I'm not ready to discuss all the details of that to put me more in a situation where I can do the things I'm passionate about and I enjoy the most instead of just working a freaking job all the time. Let's see. Ooh, here's one called Swoosh. Let's see how that sounds. None should completely blow because I wouldn't have downloaded if it was bad. But some of these are like background music kind of things for future projects. But let me tell you about how I messed up. Okay. Uh, man, there's one part of my yesterday morning. It would be a story in itself. But to paint the full picture of how yesterday morning came, this before I left the house. This has nothing to do with GMP or NFI or anything. But I'm probably going to keep that story to myself. But I had a little bit later start than I had intended to. So I got to the terminal, and anytime I'm on the way to the terminal, I call dispatch on the way. If I don't have a plan on me already, and say, hey, I'm on my way to the terminal. I'm about 15 minutes away. What am I getting started with? And most time they don't know, but and then I'll get something shortly thereafter. And that's what happened yesterday. And I got a load that was going to Spartanburg, which that's like the sister city of New Bern. So it wasn't far, like 17 paid miles. It's really like 23 driving miles to get unloaded. Okay, so, did that. Didn't take too long. It was less than an hour to get unloaded. And then a pickup that was in like the Greer area. And it was a live load. Didn't take too long. It was less than an hour as well. That was going to Macon, Georgia. And as soon as I saw, the Macon, Georgia, I popped in the address and I saw there was about a 50-mile discrepancy from what Rand McNally said, just going the interstate to what the paid miles was. And well, the reason is when you get to Cornersville, Georgia, it cut across going through Athens and everything to get to Macon, state highways and things like that, going through a few towns and all that. Rand McNally didn't want to go that way. But I looked on the iPhone. I'm like, man, 50 miles difference. Okay, I'll go that way. Unbeknownst to me at the time, and it ain't nobody's fault but mine, I was supposed to T-call this load in Atlanta. Like when they sent that work order, they sent along, a T-call thing was shortly behind it. I don't know exactly how I missed that. If it came shortly there, I'm not sure. But I missed it. So this whole time, I'm trucking it across the country of Georgia, headed to Macon. I didn't need to be because that's not where the load was, my part of it anyway. What was taking it because I was just going to T-call it. And then there was, I guess something on the Atlanta yard bringing me back. That'd be a 400 and something mile day or so. I'd get back early. I could work out and then get up and be where I was supposed to be today. But oh no, no, didn't work out like that. I get to Macon, right? Pull up and I'm checking in with the security guard. He tells me where to go. I back up towards the dock and the guy's just looking kind of puzzled. I was at the wrong dock, so I'm not at the same one I'm backed up to now. But he called somebody and then he handed me his phone, right? And there's you know a guy there that said, this load isn't for today. It's for tomorrow at 11 o'clock or something like that. So you'll need to come back." And I made one little attempt. "Hey, can't you go in and load me now while I'm here?" And no, that wasn't the case. And I was fucking pissed because I don't get paid for all this extra driving around. I'm doing. It's costing me time. So I called dispatch. It wasn't like a main dispatcher. I think it was one of those new ones. Okay, I'll let them know. So I drove on to Atlanta. I T called that and I waited around. I didn't get anything. So then I get this message back that I'll need to deliver that to Macon. Like, what? So yeah, I ended up shutting down at, what is it, exit 201 off 75 with like four big old truck stops. It's always freaking full. I went to the Flying J because the TA, I was kind of wanting to go there because they had an IHOP and I didn't bring groceries. I didn't even bring a toothbrush. Like, my teeth are not clean because I did not brush them this morning because I thought I was coming home. So I didn't pack up much stuff. And so I had to shut down with like 4 hours of time left, which generally I'm not that type of driver, and take about a 14-hour break to get here 2 hours before my appointment time, which I'm backed up to the dock. They let me in, but they hadn't started unloading me yet. So maybe it'll be an hour from now before that starts. So yeah, and I don't know what's next, but I guess I will probably make it back today because I guess I'm gonna be starting on the Lowe's account tomorrow, which is gonna be a reduction in the pay that I'm used to, on weeks anyway that I really strive to be insanely efficient as a driver and come close to running a 70-hour clock out. When you do that here on a regional pay anyway, which is over 50 cents a mile, that's a $1,500 plus week is what it adds up to. There's a local thing. I don't know. They're still working out all the details because it's brand new. I mean, there's not even last time I was there anyway, which I delivered one load to this new Lowe's DC. There's not a Lowe's sign. I think it's actually operated by NFI. If I was in the orientation, I would probably have a full understanding, would be able to ask questions, but I'm not. I'm here. So I thought I'd go live and talk to you guys. Let's see what we say. Okay, I would like to your comic book. Um James Anderson with the dog. Is there some way I can check that out, or are you just kind of doing that on your own, building it up? I would be curious to see. I try good miles every day. Sounds like Whirlpool. Howdy, Trucker Jim. I listen to content from you and other drivers to hear what they really think and what they deal with. We deal with some stuff. I have this idea that I'm wanting to do a very honest video. Not that I'm a big liar on other videos, but a very honest video of like the pros and cons of trucking, the good and bad of trucking. Cause it's weird. Some days I'm like, man, this is great. It's sunshine, it's beautiful, riding through areas, things are going cool. Got a big paycheck at the end of the week. Don't have somebody messing with me all day, telling me what I got to do and all that. And, trucking's cool, man. It is until there's something outside of the truck that you want to do. And I don't know how it's crazy how shit can go wrong when you need to get back, and there's something that causes its delays and the regular disappointments that I feel like I impose on other people in my life from, well, not being where I said I was going to be when I said I was going to do it, because it's delicate, man. Anything can throw it off. I've got some Star Wars music, but we probably shouldn't play that. This is all called Complainer, and I'm complaining a little bit, so let's see how that sounds. Oh, wait a minute. This is a normal song. I can't play much of it because they'll give me a copyright strike. Boom, boom. Sit around, complain about it. Okay. We can't play that because I do like to monetize videos. Because it's cool getting a YouTube check. Let's plug this phone in. I had a low battery thing come up. All right. The daughter says hi, Trucker Jim. Well, John Crawford, yeah, I bet your daughter out in what was it, the Dallas Truck Show. Hope she is doing well. And hello to you, little girl. And let's see. I put it on Connexel on LinkedIn and Facebook. The sponsor the comic because the character uses some of their ELD tech designed for drivers to actually make money. Awesome company based out of Knoxville. Well, that is super cool, man. I'm on Facebook too. I know there's probably about 3,000 other Jim Davises on there, but mine's got like Trucker Jim in parentheses. But I don't know. Friend request me, shoot me that. I'd like to check it out. But the part that pisses me off about yesterday more than anything is there's gonna come a day where my name might change and we may drop the trucker part off of it because I won't be trucking. I'll be like filmmaker Jim or something like that. But it's gonna be a process that starting in my 40s, right? And a big part of it is the things I want to do. I really don't think I can do them all by myself. There needs to be a team. So my plan is I'm gonna put myself out there a little more, besides just YouTube in the Greenville, South Carolina area. And I've picked a spot. I'm gonna do my first open mic. It was supposed to be yesterday, and it's not gonna be next Monday either, because I've got to go to court in New Bern, North Carolina. We ain't gonna go into details of what all that's about. But then I guess maybe the following I'll be full swing, but it's at 7 o'clock on Monday nights. And I'm searching around now. There's a few places that do like improv type comedy, but doing some open mic, doing some improv, finding some type of situation where there's a play or whatever to be able to do like some stage acting. I know everybody thinks I'm crazy, and when I say this, but dadgummit, that's what I want to do. I always have, and I've just let, I don't know, jobs get in the way of the things I'm passionate about, and I'm getting to the point where I don't want to do that. I don't. Might need to. trim my lifestyle living and my expenses down, in order to accomplish that, so I don't have as much financial responsibility or burden on me in order to do that, but I will. And I just know I've got a feeling in the combination of open mics, improv, doing some stage acting, I'm going to meet the right people that are like-minded that want to create some things too. I'm sure the first one won't be a blockbuster film, but doing some little short stories, something that's 15, 20 minutes. It has a script, a few actors, a few cameras to get, multiple angles, get good clean sound. Getting to that is, well, it is a step in the process. And then I've got like six story ideas that are all completely different from one another, but they exist in the same universe. And there'll be some interconnections, maybe some character overlap, that type of things. And when I think about that, I get a warm, fuzzy feeling and a glowing feeling inside my chest here. It feels right. And when it finally happens, it will be a glorious day because, there has been perceived obstacles, keeping me from doing that. And well, I've got to make a few changes to create the environment so I can flourish in that and do what's required. And there may be I'm sure there will be some bumbling and stumbling and, some critics that like say, man, that sucks. Like some of you, if you watch my Uncle John video, you might think that sucks too. I wish I would have trimmed the ending. I mean, not the ending, but the beginning, the first like 3 or 4 minutes a little better. Yeah, after I'm watching it, the pacing is, it could be better. But when it really gets into the Uncle John stuff, I'm pretty pleased with it. I hadn't heard from his wife, Aunt Phyllis, yet, but I hope she likes it. His sister, my Aunt Nancy, she called me shortly after watching it, and well, she loved it, and that's good. The family and also the younger generation in our family are the people I made it from. No offense, you guys that come to my channel just to watch trucking stuff. I didn't really have you in mind when I was making. It's just only got one. Well, I have a second channel, but I don't do anything with the second channel. It's just this one. But that will probably change as time goes on. And speaking of change, I've got a name. Some of you guys on the Zello channel I used to plug into regularly know this other name. But as I start getting into the, what do I call it? I have definition problems. Showbiz, movie business, entertainment business, media. I don't know what to call it. But I've got Jim Davis, which that's the name I've been going by. I think it's too fucking common for the man that's going to do the things that I want to do, because most of you probably know a Jim Davis besides me. It's like John, I mean, it's a very, very common name. And well, I don't have common ambitions and common thoughts and common dreams and common desires, and I don't have a common work ethic either. Um, but I'm not going to tell you guys that name now. But we're going to check some comments. We're gonna we're gonna play another song too. Making me feel. Hmm. I think that, yeah, here's another instrumental one. And play. Yeah, sounds kind of cool, right? But we're gonna check these comments, and if it spurs some conversation, we'll have a little more conversation. But otherwise, I guess, I see the artist of Garfield. That's right. I think that's when I started calling myself Jim Davis, because I always read the Garfield's comic and always, saw that. But like during school, nobody called me Jim. No one, no one called me Jim. Like growing up, my family generally called me Jimbo or Jimmy, which I was never really like Jimmy. Jimbo, I don't know. It sounds, you know, I don't know of a lot of rocket scientists and scholars called Jimbo, but I liked it. Jimmy, that was for other people, not so much me. But when I went to kindergarten to sign up, I decided I wanted to use my daddy's name and go by James. So all during school, I was James Davis. That's what, all the people I went to school with, James. But then I had a nickname named Kichi. But after getting, I think when I first got into sales with a company called Direct Action on the application. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Had a call come in. Sorry, Misty. I will call you back shortly. Um, Play that again. Um, I changed it to Jim Davis, and well, I've been that ever since until season 2 of the trucking journey, and I didn't have Boone with me anymore, and I was still editing on a phone, and the title sequence that I used didn't look right with just Jim's trucking journey. So hence, I became Trucker Jim, and that's what a lot of people call me now. Like, hey, Trucker Jim. All right, we got any other Jimmy Davis sounds like a Southern comic. It does. The good old Zello days. That's right. I, I hadn't really been getting on Zello too much. Don't let the current crap get you. Some cool stuff for truckers is just around the corner. Do open mics and enjoy the road. I don't know. It's weird, man. As far as the road, like sometimes I'm like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. I mean, because I dang sure don't want to like work in this place I'm at now, or some of these manufacturers, especially the ones that think they're, I don't, slave's probably not the right word, property, that I have, with all their rules and safety procedures. Like it always, I I said my New Year's resolution. I wasn't gonna spend time being pissed off, frustrated, and angry. I'm not. And life is 10% what happens to you, and 90% how you react to it. But I don't know why. But when I have to unload and do all kind of stupid shit that I get paid to drive there. All this stuff that I'm having to do, like slide tandems, chop wheels, unhook, give them my keys, and wait in the driver's lounge while they're unloading me for an hour and a half. It affects my mood, man. Especially when I got a video to edit, which I really hadn't been so much lately because of the process of the uploading of the video out here on the road when it's edited on a Mac in Final Cut and I'm having to use a hotspot. It just takes a long freaking time. And I mean, 1 or 2 times a month is all I can do, and it uses up my 15 gig data plan. Sorry, another phone call come in. Build your name up and keep driving while you slowly transition to that career. We'll see, man. That's why I was, planning on driving local, doing this Lowe's thing. I'm still not crystal clear on the schedule of it. I've heard anywhere from we start at midnight till start at 5 a.m. But like the delivery times are from 7 in the morning to like 2 o'clock in the afternoon are the unload times because all this is live unloads. But we'll be a priority. When we get there, boom, they get on it right away. Everybody else can, just get unloaded after the appliance guy comes rolling in. So I like that. I remember it was like that at Walmart's when I helped out with that. They got right to it, which that's good. I like that part of it. But that's the plan. Doing this local thing, it's going to be pretty big reduction in pay compared to what I've done before. But I just have to lower some expenses in certain ways. But my plan is find other ways to make a little cheddar. You know, maybe get the YouTube stuff going back better. I don't know. It's a work in progress. I've got to get the environment right that I exist in, as far as being able to go home, wake up in my bed, get up, and I have to incorporate exercise in. Like I worked out the other day, and especially the 9 round 30-minute workout, because man, you just hit your body from every angle and sweat so much during that half hour. I feel electrified for a couple of days after, a workout. But if I go like a whole week without working out, I just start aching more. My thoughts drift, seem to get more negative and doubtful. when exercise is not a part of my regular routine. It makes a tremendous difference for me. And I'm probably not by myself. All of you would probably feel better if you exercise, or you guys that do exercise, you can probably relate. If you go a week without it, you can tell the difference. You start feeling fatter, a little sluggish, a little heavier, a little more foggy in the head compared to, when you're able to sweat that out a few times a week. But I guess I need to call my roommate back since she's called a couple times while we're doing this. What iPad are you using, and do you edit on an iPad? I have edited on an iPad, but nah, I don't. And I've got the series, the Generation 5, which I wish I had a Generation 6, because I've got a MacBook Pro. So that's what I prefer to edit on. If I'm doing some quick, simple stuff, I can do it on my phone. But if I'm doing something that I want it to be awesome, I'm using the MacBook Pro. Every time, because it's got Final Cut compared to iMovie, which is it's a big difference between the two. But like if I had a Generation 6, which I've had this thing, the iPad, a couple of years. But the Generation 6 and above, I can use this as a second monitor for my Mac. They just like hook up, automatically, and it can be a mirror of my, screen, or a second monitor where I can slide things over. And the real reason I want to have that, especially if I start doing videos with other people, but hey, it would actually benefit me as well. I could script it and have it on a scrolling thing and use the iPad like a teleprompter that, the TV shows and all that stuff kind of use. Just have to position where, it's pretty good eye contact with the camera. But not, I mean, I guess editing on the iPad would probably be maybe a little easier than the phone. But like when I want to put something good together, I'm using my MacBook Pro. But the iPad, it's all right. Trucker Jim, what kind of advice can you give someone getting into trucking? Have been a spotter for 12 years and feel like I want more. I don't know what a spotter is, uh, but in it, advice for someone getting into trucking? Uh, it's a good question, man. Or is it a good question? There's so many different directions, one could go into trucking. Now, it just depends on what's most important to you. When I started, I was seeking some adventure and to make some money. And I didn't so much know it in the very beginning, but it became a canvas for me to express myself and get, when my YouTube channel started, which everybody that gets into trucking don't need to start a YouTube channel necessarily. But yeah, heck, I don't. But I was going through a divorce. Didn't have a house I could live in because I let her stay there. I hope that's a new work plan. Let's check out what the message is, and then we're gonna probably wrap this one up because we are 30 minutes in already. Um, I don't like this angle when I'm reading things. Little Viking coach, bring back some of that comedic content. I know I love Little Viking stuff when it's funny. I guess, Kevin, the best advice I can give is give some definite thought and have a plan of how you're going to eat and how you're going to exercise, because it will jump up on you quick, man. And I mean, it is not uncommon for a truck driver to gain like 40 or 50 pounds, their first year or two as a truck driver. And if you just drive and then just sit your ass in that seat and watch YouTube videos and Netflix or whatever, and you'll walk into the truck shop and take a shower every 2 or 3 days is the most exercise you get, there's going to be some consequences for it. That's my advice I would give. As far as the type of trucking you want to do and where company, I don't know, man, because I've only worked with a handful. And I can tell you about the ones I've been with, but all the others, I'm just as ignorant as you are on things that I have not done. But advice to truckers is take your health. I mean, seriously, like if you just eat Subway and McDonald's every freaking day, which that's what chemicals that are foreign to your body that's in all that stuff that it will take a toll on you, and it doesn't take that long to do. Diet and exercise are very important for a truck driver. Diet probably more so than exercise. Drinking all kind of sodas all the time, which I don't know why so many people have a problem drinking freaking water. They got to have flavor and sweetness in every fucking thing they put in their body, or they just can't handle it. And I just think that's weak and silly, and I don't get it. But I know most of you probably feel that way too. And I know you get bored with hydrating and things like that. But generally, about all I drink, I got my coffee with the butter and the coconut oil and stuff in it. Right there is my ice water cup, and when I go into restaurants, I generally take my ice water cup because I mean I have water, and I'm try to be a responsible human on this planet that we have. So I have these BAPA or BPA free jugs that I fill them up before I leave the house. I've got a 2 gallon one too, or go by one of the grocery stores that has the double osmosis water instead of buying cases of water and all those little water bottles, which that accumulates. I do get, well, we won't talk about pee jugs. Um, But I try, cause as much as I like to hydrate, I go through 24 water bottles, you know, probably every 4 or 5 days, at least. And over the course of time, especially with all these freaking trucks you see on the road, that's an ass of water bottles. That's why, out in the Pacific Ocean and things, there's like islands of water bottles and plastic and stuff floating around out there, and especially those thin ones that make all kind of noise, when you squeeze. That really gets on my nerves, and you got to really be careful about plastic. Like, I really try not to buy things that are plastic. Like those plastic coffee cups at the truck stop. Fuck no. I got me a good metal Yeti cup. I've had this thing. I think I got it my second year as a driver. And well, it ain't broke or cracked or anything like that. It's stained on the inside because all that goes into this is coffee, and all that goes into that one there is water. Now, I like to drink beer. I do. And then Coca-Cola Classic and Dr. Pepper and Sprite are quite tasty at times, but I can tell a difference in how I feel after drinking too much of those. And I am a big fan of Maker's Mark. And oh my goodness, with a little Coca-Cola splash and Maker's Mark with a couple ice cubes, that is a fine cocktail. Can't have too many of those or I will be talking some shit. But water and coffee are the main things that I drink, and I am down about 40 pounds from my heaviest as a driver. I'm around 180. Sometimes I get, the lowest number I've seen on the scale is like 174. But probably, I'm not the only one. I think all of our weight, I've seen fluctuations of 5 or 6 pounds in a day between, in the morning when I wake up after fasting for a while, and then I eat. Your weight can fluctuate. The number on the scale isn't what I keep up with. The more how I feel and how my clothes fit are what I pay attention to more than all. But all my clothes from back when I was an insurance agent, I can't really, I mean, I can put them on, but they're too big. The pants, I'm wearing a 30-30 in pants now, which is the same size I wore in high school. There was a one point where I had some pants that were 36 and I cannot wear them now. They fall down and they don't fit good. Most of my shirts and sweatshirts and hoodies, at one time were extra large. And now, large or certain cuts, medium, and not having a big old belly sticking out, I prefer clothes that fit me well now. I don't know what made me started talking about that, but I'm having to buy new clothes, which is cool. But I've got like a lot of clothes that I don't expect I'll wear anymore because they're too big. Because I'm getting more into my ideal weight versus being, an overweight trucker insurance guy kind of thing. But it is easy to let things get out of hand because the two things that affect it most is your diet, what you eat, but also when you eat, and then your exercise routine. You've got to have some kind of exercise routine, which I ain't gonna say it's easy, but walking ain't too hard. You can start with walking. I, and there's a whole Planet Fitness thing, which that never really gave me what I needed. 9 round and going for a run kind of give me more what I needed. But there's also in Greenville a, a kick kickball league. I was about to say kickboxing, but a kickball league. That's something I'm interested in now. But I'm at least in the second half of my life, and it seems like most of it. Hell, even during high school, I was working a lot. I don't know. Unless I'm making movies, I think there's more to me that defines me than my job. And that's the way it is for all of us. But guys, I'm out. I'm gonna wrap this up and do something else and go check and see if I can find somebody to take this stuff off my truck so I can make it home today. Sleep in my own bed. Give Boone a little love. All that good stuff. Last comment that I'm reading here. James Slayton. You better save them bigger clothes for when that metabolism slows down. I'm not gonna let it slow down. Tell you what, I'm going to do the opposite of your advice, and I'm going to get all that shit out of my way, out of my life, and donate it to Goodwill to make room for more things that are coming. But everyone, have a super day, and until next time, be safe out there and keep on trucking.